Hey everybody, Greg here, and this is another video in the series of videos about trails, bike trails in the Iowa City Coralville area. I'm here near the Iowa River Power Company along the river, and you can see the sign behind me says that the Clear Creek Trail is just about 3/10 of a mile or 2 minutes this way. So I'm going to head straight along here going south from this location, but I want to show you, I'm going to flip the camera and show you how I'm navigating this a bit. So the sign points toward this ramp and then toward the bridge, but actually what you're going to want to do is, you can see it's very beautiful along in here, by the way, just the river and having the trail so close. But where that sign points to that bridge, what we actually want to do, here's a kind of a trick, is you can just jump out here into the parking lot, assuming there isn't a lot of traffic going on. And instead of, going up that ramp toward the bridge and then down the stairs on the other side, if you just kind of ride through the parking lot here and take this ramp right up onto the walkway, we'll skip the steps and we're just going to head south, or head along the river here past the spillway and bridge. You can see the outdoor seating for Iowa River Power, and then this walkway that goes on the this would be the east side of Iowa River Power. And then that walkway is really not used very much. It's next to this power facility, but it's kind of a nice way to enjoy the ride without riding your bike on the sidewalk near First Avenue there in Coralville. So you get a better view of the river and presumably less noise. You'll occasionally see people walking, running, riding their bikes on this trail, so you want to stay alert, but in general it's not used very much. And this wall here is all part of flood mitigation. And there we are, kind of a high vantage point to look at the river and continue on. So I'm again heading south along the river, heading back toward the intersection there between Mormon Trek and going toward the Clear Creek Trail. There may occasionally be some flooding and those barricades will be down. You can see a little bit of remnant left over, some muddy water on the trail. Now we can continue going straight under the bridge, or we can turn up here, which is what I would recommend, and stay on this east side of First Avenue in Coralville, continue heading south, and we'll cross the bridge. So essentially from Iowa River Power, heading south will direct you toward a few different trail systems that are worth knowing about and worth exploring. I usually try to avoid sidewalks and streets. I try to take trails that are not going to be very populated. I think it's just safer and more enjoyable. So anyway, though, when you get to 2nd Street and First Avenue, which is it's also referred to as Hayden Fry Way here, we're going to push the button and we're going to wait for our turn to have the walk light. This is a really busy intersection, but the whoever it is that planned and set the timing on these lights did a pretty good job. Each direction, you know, there's a left turn signal, so the left turn signal just went green right now for the other southbound traffic. They're turning now. Once that signal goes red, we're going to see a break in traffic, and that'll be our turn. We'll get the walk light. We can go south across this street here. And that's just about to happen. There we go. So I'm going to head across. You still want to watch the traffic coming along here, because they may not know that you have the right of way. They might try to turn. And you can see there's the numbered indicator, which is nice to have. You know how much time there is remaining to cross the street. So this is a short video. It's a short segment, but it's important because just explaining, you know, how to navigate that intersection and to know sort of what are you doing, where are you going. You want to go south along. This is now Mormon Trek, and you'll be approaching this bridge. It's a railroad bridge coming up, and just before you get to the railroad bridge, there is a really nice trail that goes along this this area here, and that's probably a 7 to 10 minute ride depending on how fast you go, but just very nice. So that's worth taking, and I have a separate video that shows that. Maybe I can link to that in the description. But anyway, as we continue going south here on Mormon Trek, one thing I really like, particularly in the summer on a hot day like today, is you can kind of hug these trees as long as nobody's coming, and you can avoid some of that hot sunshine. I'm riding right now in the middle of the day, so there's not as much shade, but anytime in the morning or mid-morning, you really get the benefit of quite a bit of shade from these trees. And the purpose for continuing along this path here, this trail, is that when we get to the light, which is coming up in just a couple minutes, at that point we can turn right and connect up to another little trail system, which is really quite nice. Something I like to feature or point out in the videos I make are the different housing options in Iowa City, and whether that's for students or just regular, you know, residential housing. I always want to point it out, particularly for people who are maybe visiting or students who are new to the area. You'll occasionally see these, you know, motorized four-wheel vehicles along this area because of the golf course that's nearby and other sports fields and things, so there needs to be maintenance trucks servicing those areas, and that's something to be aware of and not to be startled by. But this housing complex that I was pointing out is really quite nice. It's called Aspire, A-S-P-I-R-E. It's designed for students. I don't know if they allow non-students to be residents there, but anyway, if you're a student, it's worth checking out. So I'm going to turn right, as I said, at this light. Again, we have a very nice timed walk light there, so you know how much time you have to cross the street. There's another service truck. And I should mention that those normally do not, you know, show up every 10 seconds. That was unusual to see 2 in a row. And I usually don't see those, but just occasionally. So this person that's riding off to that area is going toward the Aspire at West Campus. But you notice that person's riding further down, and if you are to ride all the way down there, you'll get to something that's called the Mormon Handcart Trail, which connects up to another trail, Clear Creek Trail, that goes through the woods that you can see off in the distance. So that's a great ride, an extensive ride. What I'm going to do, you saw I kind of made a U-turn here, is I'm just going to keep heading west on this sort of access road. You can see a sports complex off to the left there, and here to my right are some soccer fields. And then beyond the soccer fields, the trees you see are all part of that Mormon Handcart Trail. And it runs the full distance of these soccer fields. And then at the end of the soccer field, a little distance beyond, there's another access trail that gets you toward the Clear Creek Trail and the Mormon Handcart Trail. And let me just show you that. And I should point out or mention that the Mormon Handcart Trail, which I have another video of that, which I can have a link to in the description, it's pretty narrow and it's very windy, and there are a lot of trees. So you're going to kind of want to go slow in there. And you know, pedestrians and other bicyclists can come up on you pretty quick. So you might even prefer to skip that trail and take this sort of detour to get to the Clear Creek Trail. And again, just as a reminder, we were on Mormon Trek. We turned right in this case, essentially heading west to get to this access trail, which is access road, which is kind of just next to this sports complex. And so what we're going to see here pretty shortly is, it's taken a little while, but we've gone the full distance of the sports soccer fields. The trail continues on ahead, you can see, but there's a turn. So I'm going to turn here, and now you can see we're connecting back up to the trail system. Here's the Clear Creek Trail, and there's the sign that says the Coral Ridge Mall is 2.6 miles, 15 minutes. So that ride may take you a little longer. I have some video of that, which I will link to as well. But let me just show you the sort of the trail head here where it begins. Again, there's the soccer fields and other sports fields here. The woods that you can see in the distance, that's where the Mormon Handcart Trail winds through. And you're going to see here the Mormon Handcart Trail exiting the woods and coming to an intersection with this trail that I'm on right now. And the reason this video is important is it just kind of orients you to how do you get here from a central location. And you know, once you're to this point, you can just ride the trail and you can enjoy it, but at least you know how to find it. So this is where the Mormon Handcart Trail comes out or goes in or whatever. It's a relatively short trail, and you can see kind of narrower, older, less maintenance on that trail. But the trail ahead of us is wide enough to, you know, probably have a bicycle as well as one of those four-wheel vehicles, or maybe even a car could ride on this. But anyway, this is the Clear Creek Trail, and it's really beautiful in here, and usually very quiet unless somebody's talking loudly and making a video like I am. But there are nice bridges, lots of trees, pretty well shaded, so even on a warmer day you can enjoy a cool ride through here. And there are spots where it opens up, which you'll see in some of the other videos I'm going to post. So anyway, that's it for now, and I appreciate you watching the videos, and any feedback or suggestions is always appreciated, so, or special requests. So thanks a lot and have a great day.